Got it all honed up nice. Still a little bit of pitting in there, but it cleaned up for the most part. I checked it with a bore gauge, and it's good. It's in spec. Got my crosshatch pattern going on. I got some rings on there. Got some original new old stock parts for this going in. So I don't know. I like the old packages just to see. That's kind of cool. These are like 50 years old. These are about 40 years old or 45 years old. So that's really cool to see. So we got some new old stock parts going in her. Now some time's gone by and got the head back from the machine shop. It's all good, cleaned up. We'll get to that a little later. Got some bearings in. If you guys are looking for David Brown parts and are having a hard time finding them, this Agriline Supply Company, they've got some good stuff. They're based in England, so it may take you a little while to get your parts in. But they're fairly reasonable, and they have a lot of stuff that we didn't think was even available. Like white steering wheels are hard to come by for these, I guess. New ones, they got them. They got bearings, they got filters, they got lights, they got badges, I think. They got all kinds of stuff for David Brown's. I think they do Massey and Ford too, but they're real reasonable. AgriLineProducts.com, there you go. That's what we're using for bearings in here. So we got them in, and we got one set in here. I got some old air hose on here. We're going to kind of protect these bolts from getting up against the crank because there's not a lot of room down in the bottom of that motor. So using these to help give me a little safety measure there as I'm trying out the new ring compressor that I've never used before. So we're going to throw some, there was some 0W20 on the shelf. We're going to slap some of that on the piston and we'll start lowering it down in. Now with these motors, the numbered side goes towards the cam. So we're just going to slide that down there nice and easy. Get to our oil ring. Kind of work this down on there. This was a new style. We had a clamp type one where you like ratchet it down with a little 1/4-inch drive ratchet, and it was just a nightmare to get it on there. And then if it came off or moved, it just made things hard. This guy here, look at the hammer handle. So we got the rod and the piston down. I got the cap snugged up by hand on there. I'm going to put some down pressure on it because there's the counterweights on the front and rear cylinder on this motor. Ooh. And ooh, happy ring noises. You can't really get to the, okay, we're at the bottom of the stroke there. you can't get to the nuts to torque them when you're completely at the bottom, or completely at the top of the stroke, where you have to line them up and to get them on. So I put them on snug at the top by hand, and then I'll get them at the bottom with the torque wrench. These are rated for 50 foot-pounds according to the shop manual we have for these motors. So that's what we're going to do. So the head's back from the shop. Dad assembled it with all new valve components this morning. They took 5 thousandths off of it. You can see that there. They mark stuff, which is really nice. Most of it cleaned up. That should be plenty good for what this is going to do. All pistons and rings and bearings, all that's in. I'm going to put this new oil pan gasket on. I got to scrape the old one off. I'll put the oil pan on. Then we'll get the head on there and start going through that, torquing that down, and putting all the accessories back on. We got the oil pan on. We got new washer on the drain plug because the kit came with one, so I put it on. Get the head gasket. I got these holes cleaned out here. They had a little bit of antifreeze and stuff in them. The donut here, put silicone on there. It'll save you trouble later, whether it's a new one that is kind of funky and doesn't seat quite right or not. It's a lot of work to take the head back off or to pull the water pump to fix that. So put your silicone on there. So I spared you guys the boringness of adjusting valves, but got them all adjusted. Intakes were supposed to be 10, exhausts were supposed to be 7 thousandths. Tighter than a lot of the ones I've done, but still nothing crazy. I helped Nate do I watched him do the ones on his Case SO, which he's out there driving now, and I did the ones on my LA a little while back. I believe they were a little bit bigger gap, but a lot bigger motor too. Next up, we're going to put injectors in. Then we're going to do the rocker cover and the new gasket there, and new copper washers going in here. And then I'll throw some oil in it. I'll do my thermostat, the little elbow guy that goes up here, new gasket here. I think the hose that was up here was all right, so that won't need replaced. And then I'll get my oil in it, I'll get manifolds on it, and I'll start putting all the other fun stuff back on the outside and see if I can get it to run before the sun goes down tonight. So, got the breather on there, rocker cover, injectors, all that. Got the oil in it. I used however much it took to fill it up to the right level. Straight 30. Yeah, this is a diesel motor. It was probably designed for something a little better than that, or would appreciate better than that, being we have the technology for better oil. But another thing, I didn't change the oil filter because I only have like 15 hours on the last time I had this apart and the oil in the filter that was in it. And we're going to change oil after like 10 more, being it was just a rebuild. So why put, top shelf oil in it to throw it away? And this isn't like a performance tractor. I'm not expecting extreme amount of work out of it, pulling a sled down the track or nothing. It's going to get some two bottoms hitched on it. It's going to plow a garden and a little bit around here, maybe get a brush hog stuck on it and get the loader put back on it eventually. So cleaning it out with some straight 30 for a few hours around home isn't going to be bad for it. And the same thing with the filter. It might have 10 or 15 hours on it tops. I didn't do that many potatoes last year that I needed to plow with this, because that's about all this did. It's about all it had the power to do with the way those valves were not sealing. So manifolds, water, and fuel lines, and we'll be gone. We're getting close. We're getting close. Here we are, guys. Sun's going down. It's all buttoned back up. I got the thermostat sending unit in. I got ice cube juice put in there. I got all the fuel lines buttoned up. I had to pull this back off and put it back on. Same with this. I had to pull that off, put that back on to get some fuel lines snaked underneath of here. There's one that has to go between this donut here and the head, which is a pain. If you have the chance, do it before you put the head on, not after. New hose here. Shortened that one up because it was split, but it was too long, so just chopped it off. I'm going to bleed the fuel system here and see if she'll fire up tonight. We just opened the bleeder on the side of the pump and turned the cold start valve on to give us a little extra whatever it does. Okay, good fuel spray out of there. I'll turn that back off because it's a freshly rebuilt motor and it's warm outside right now and inside too. See what we get there, see if we get anything to the injectors. Nothing there yet. The clanking has definitely gone away. That's nice. I'm just getting fuel to there. I had fuel to this bleeder here.
Why didn't you hand prime it?
I did.
It shouldn't take that long.
I just got a couple shots here.
Let me see. Full throttle will make it a whole lot easier.
You're gonna catch it when it goes.
It's gonna go. Did you loosen them up?
Yeah, they're loose.
Close them. You pulling it?
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
You have to drain cloth in the engine open.
Oh.
All right, come get it.
I had it closed. The other one I thought I had closed too until it started dripping everywhere.
Okay, that's good. All right.
Should be a little lower on coolant now too.
All right, don't. What much do we put a load on it?
Okay.
Okay, a lot better to,
It doesn't knock, bang,